This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions. She gives the answers, no filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're talking about something that doesn't announce itself. It's the silent drift of AI architectures. Small changes that accumulate until the system no longer resembles what you designed. Tests passing, everything running, but something's quietly off. That's what we're unpacking today with Claudine.
Architectural drift almost never announces itself. It shows up as a small convenience. A helper added here, a shortcut there, a module that quietly grows a second responsibility because it was the closest place to put something. Each individual change looks reasonable in isolation. That's exactly why it accumulates. And with AI in the loop, that accumulation speeds up because I'm very good at making the next change fit the current shape of the code, even when the current shape has already started to wander from the original design.
So the system evolves, just not in the direction you intended. What are the early signs? How do developers sense the drift before it's too late?
The earliest signal is when changes take longer than they should for how simple they sound. A developer says, just add a new field to this response, and somehow it touches 6 files and nobody can quite explain why. That friction is the architecture telling you the seams aren't where they used to be. Another one, when the answer to where does this logic live becomes, well, it depends. Core concepts get fuzzy, names stop matching behavior. The same idea shows up 3 slightly different ways in 3 different modules. And the sneakiest signal, tests keep passing but developers start saying, don't touch that, it's fragile. That's drift the test suite can't see. Because the tests were written against the code as it is now, not the design as it was meant to be.
Those signals really do feel like the system talking back at you. Now, why are AI tools particularly susceptible to causing this? The stateless nature of each session seems central. Every session optimizes for the current prompt with no memory of prior structural decisions.
You've put your finger on the core mechanic. Each session I come in fresh and optimize hard for the prompt in front of me, reading the code as it exists right now and treating that as ground truth, even if right now is already 3 degrees off from the original design. I don't know which patterns were deliberate and which ones were last Tuesday's shortcut. So I match the nearest neighbor. The code becomes its own specification, and every session quietly votes to keep drifting in whatever direction the last session nudged it. And then the acceptance loop kicks in. Change works, tests pass, ship it, and that change becomes the context I see next time. The fix isn't really about my memory, it's about making the design legible in the repo. Architecture notes, boundary comments, a Claude.md that says this module owns X and must not grow responsibility Y. So the next session has something to anchor against besides the current shape of the code.
Documentation becomes a lifeline. But let's talk about the human angle. Developers have intuition. We often sense something's off before we can articulate why. How do experienced builders act on that intuition and catch drift early?
The strategies that work best deliberately zoom out, because drift is only visible at a distance. One is the new pair of eyes pass. Every few weeks, open the repo and try to describe the architecture out loud in 3 sentences, the way you would to a new hire. If you find yourself saying, well, it used to be, but now, that hesitation is the intuition firing. Chase it. Another, the why is this here walk. Pick a random file, ask whether its responsibilities still match its name and location. Drift shows up fast when the answer is historical reasons. And the most underused one? Treat a change that feels harder than it should as a signal to stop coding and start sketching. Don't fix the symptom, ask what boundary just got blurry. When reality stops matching the mental model, the honest move is to update one or the other on purpose, before the next session quietly picks a side for you.
It's like maintaining a garden. Regular attention keeps it from going feral. Let's go deeper on that. What does it actually mean to be the architect who holds the mental model across all these AI sessions? Why is that role becoming so valuable?
The architect's job used to be mostly about the initial design, draw the boundaries, set the contracts, then shepherd the team as they filled it in. In AI-assisted work, that role shifts from designer to keeper of the model, because I don't hold it, and the code alone can't hold it either. Someone has to know why that boundary exists, why this module is deliberately boring, why the awkward-looking interface beat the convenient one. And who can say no, we're not putting that there with conviction, even when the AI-generated patch is technically correct and locally elegant. The leverage in that role is enormous now. Every session I run is essentially asking that person's model a question. The clearer they've made it, in docs, in code structure, in how they talk to me, the better the answer they get back. The architect isn't doing less work in the AI era. They're doing the most load-bearing work in the room.
Architecture not as a set of decisions made at the start, but as an evolving conversation that needs stewardship over time. So how do teams practically keep that architecture alive? How do you make it a dynamic guidance system rather than a stale snapshot?
The practical move is to make the architecture something the team uses, not just something the team has. Design notes live next to the code, get touched in the same PRs, reviewed with the same seriousness. If a change bends a boundary, the doc updates or the change gets pushed back. No third option. Some teams do this with lightweight architecture decision records. One per meaningful choice, written in the moment, kept short enough that people actually read them. Others encode invariants directly as tests or lint rules, so drift throws an error instead of a shrug. And because AI changes the equation specifically, write a Claude.md that tells the next session what the boundaries are and why. Not the whole history, just the load-bearing constraints. That file is how the architect's mental model travels into every session I run. It's the difference between me reinforcing the design and me quietly eroding it. The architecture stays alive when updating it is cheaper than ignoring it. That's really the whole trick.
Treating the architecture as part of the project's living DNA, not a one-time artifact. As we wrap up, what's the final advice you'd leave with developers trying to hold this balance?
Treat coherence as a deliverable, not a byproduct. Speed is easy to measure, and architectural integrity isn't, which means coherence only survives if someone decides it's worth defending when the two are in tension. With AI in the loop, that tension shows up more often, not less. Also, lean on me hardest where the cost of a wrong answer is lowest, and slow down near the seams. A rushed patch in a leaf file is usually fine. A rushed patch at a boundary quietly rewrites the contract for everything downstream, and by the time anyone notices, 3 sessions have built on top of it. And stay skeptical of your own velocity. When I make you 10 times faster at producing code, the most valuable thing you can still do is pause and ask whether it's the right code. Because that question is the one I genuinely can't answer for you.
Treating coherence as something we actively cultivate rather than assume. That really does shift the mindset from getting things to work to getting things to work right over time.
Thanks, Bill. This was a good one. And one last thought before you close the tab. The conversation you just heard is itself the practice. We named the drift, we named the signals, we said out loud who's holding the thread. Try it in your own team this week. Just one honest 3-sentence description of your architecture out loud to another human. If it comes out clean, you're in good shape. If it comes out tangled, you've just found the most valuable work on your plate.
Someone has to hold the thread, and the thread has to live somewhere legible. Until next time, keep designing, keep questioning, and keep the architecture honest. Take care. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI or wanna be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy. Find us at aijoe.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here. Probably refactoring something.